Hello and welcome back to Tortuga. In this video I'll be describing the Hidden Agenda expansion for the Resistance, which adds 3 additional modules for play. These are the Assassin module, the Defector module and the Trapper module. I'll begin by describing the Assassin module. If you're not familiar with the rules for the Resistance, please do check out my previous video which describes in full how to set up and play the game, because I'm assuming that you know the game by watching this video. The Assassin module will be familiar to anyone who has played Resistance Avalon, as basically it just ports over the roles from that game into the original Resistance. The additional roles introduced in this module require a much longer and variable script to what's normally read out at the start of the game, so I'll go over that at the end, but first of all I'll just explain the characters that are included. This module adds in additional role cards in variation for the standard roles, and core to this set are the Assassin and the Commander. So if you're going to be using these two, so you just substitute them into a normal game and swap out a Spy and a Resistance member for these 2 cards. The way this works, at the end of the game, if the Resistance win, the Resistance complete their 3rd mission successfully, then the Assassin character for the Spies, if they are able to name who the Commander is on the Resistance team, then the Spies win the game instead of the Resistance. In addition to that, the Commander actually has a special ability. So in the initial phase, when everybody's got their eyes closed and the Spies open up their eyes, the Commander will actually see who the Spies are without the Spies knowing who the Commander is. In addition to the Commander and the Assassin, you can also alternately add in some other characters. So, for example, the Bodyguard knows who the Commander is, and so the Bodyguard's role is to try and throw off the Spies from thinking that the Commander is the Commander and trying to take the blow for the Commander at the end of the game, basically. There's also the False Commander. The False Commander appears as the Commander to the Bodyguard. So when the Bodyguard opens up their eyes to see who the Commander is, they will see 2 people. They will also see a False Commander. So they will be able to know that of the two people, one is the Commander and one is the False Commander. Also, as an option, you can play with Deep Cover. So the Deep Cover is unknown to the Commander. So when the Commander opens up their eyes to see the Spies, they will see all of the Spies except one. They will not see the Deep Cover. The final character introduced in this module is the Blind Spy. The Blind Spy is unknown to the other Spies, and also himself does not know the other Spies. So the other Spies will have an unknown quantity, and the Blind Spy will know absolutely nothing about anybody else in the game. In addition, however, the Commander will know who the Blind Spy is, or rather the Commander will know the Blind Spy as a spy. As I said, the additional characters introduced in this module require a different script. And what I'll do is I'll just read out the entire script as though you were playing with all of the characters. You can just modify by removing the sections that refer to certain characters if you need to. Everyone close your eyes and extend your hand in a fist in front of you. Spies, but not the blind spy, open your eyes and look around to see your fellow spies. Spies, close your eyes. All players should have their eyes closed and hands in a fist in front of them. Spies, but not the deep cover spy, extend your thumb so the Commander can see you. Commander, open your eyes and see the Spies. Spies, put your thumbs down and reform your hand into a fist. Commander, close your eyes. All players should have their eyes closed and hands in a fist in front of them. Commander and False Commander, extend your thumb so that the Bodyguard knows you. Bodyguard, open your eyes so you know the Commander and False Commander. Commander and False Commander, put your thumb down and form your hand into a fist. Bodyguard, close your eyes. All players should have their eyes closed and hand in a fist in front of them. Everyone, open your eyes. So that's the Assassin module. I am a very big fan of this module. I originally owned Avalon and got rid of it when I heard that this Kickstarter was starting, so I could have much more options for my game. It really is a fantastic option to play with the game. It just, when you start trying to piece together what people know and what people think they know, and when you're trying to, okay, I know all the spies but not one spy, this person's acting suspiciously, your brain just does somersaults, and it's fantastic. It's just brilliant. It adds a lot of confusion, which is always a good thing in hidden role games. The next module I'll describe is the defector module. It adds a single new role really to the game, and basically what this means is that there will be a member of the resistance and a member of the spies who throughout the game may switch sides. To use this module, you simply shuffle these cards in place of a spy and a resistance into the normal deck, and they will be assigned to players, obviously, at random. Now there are actually two variations for this module. You can either play where the roles will switch randomly throughout the game and the defectors don't know each other, or you can play that they do know each other and that it will switch randomly through the game. It's not recommended to do the one where they know each other in a smaller player game, because obviously it just gives too much information to some players, but it is interesting to try in a larger group. Once the character cards have been dealt out to the players, there will then be an additional deck of cards that's shuffled and put next to the main board. This one includes 3 cards that say no change and 2 cards that say switch alliance. Now during the reveal phase, when the spies are told to open their eyes, the defector does not open their eyes. Instead they stick their thumb up so the other spies can see them, but the defector does not know the other spies. The game will then play as normal until the beginning of the 3rd round. At the beginning of the 3rd round, the shuffled allegiance deck, a single card will be drawn from the top of this deck and revealed, and it will either indicate that there is no change in the defector's loyalties or that the defectors switch teams. So if the defectors switch teams, obviously the defector knows, each defector knows who they are. So if you are a resistance defector, you then become a spy, and if you are a spy defector, you then become a member of the resistance. The cards themselves are not switched, obviously, because otherwise it would reveal who the defectors are to the rest of the table. However, obviously you'll be able to tell by how many switches come up on which side they lay at the end of the game. So there is a possibility that the defectors will switch and then switch back. There's a possibility that they'll switch only once, and there is also the possibility that they will not switch at all. The other variation to this theme is that the defectors can know each other. In order to do that, you add an additional line to the end of the normal script, which goes as follows. Defectors, open your eyes to reveal your counterpart. Defectors, close your eyes. And in this way, the defectors will know each other for the duration of the game. That's the defector module. Again, another way to add a bit more confusion to the game, which is always a good thing. The 3rd module included in this expansion is the trapper module, and this one allows for a particular player to be isolated by the leader, and their input into the failure or success of the mission is discounted. In order to play with this module, the leader selects an additional player than is required by the rules to run on the mission. So for example, in a 7-player game, say for example we were playing the first mission, the leader would, instead of selecting 2, select 3 people to go on the mission and propose that team, which would then get voted on. Once the team is approved and the mission goes ahead, the 3 players will play their cards as normal face down in front of them. The leader will then select 1 person of those 3, will look at the card secretly that they played, and that card is then not included in the outcome for the mission. And that's basically all that module is. It does add quite a lot to the game though, just that extra ability for the leader, and obviously the leader's going to rotate around as the game goes on. Gives the leader a bit more information as they go forward, but it also gives everybody a little bit more to think about, because if you're a spy and you're on a mission, you do not know if the leader is going to pick your card and have a look at it and discount it and possibly get the mission to go ahead. So it's a lot of fun, this module. I really enjoy it, and really all it is just adds a couple more cards to the base game, but it brings so much more to the gameplay. And that is the Resistance Hidden Agenda. A fantastic expansion overall. I really enjoy what they've added to the game and what they've brought across from Avalon. The roles from Avalon, the assassin, and in Avalon it's Merlin, but in this one the commander, they're really fantastic. They really do add a lot to the game. Thank you once again for watching Tortuga. Please do check out my other videos in this series where I explain the rules behind the Kickstarter promotional modules that were included in this box, and also the Hostile Intent modules. My name's Tinny, and I'll see you again next time.